friends, welcome to EasyWay. So welcome to the day 3 of this particular series, which is 5 in 10 series for current affairs, and these current affairs are relevant for CLAT examination, AILET, DULLB and other law entrance examinations. So friends, this is a regular series wherein you can practice 5 questions each day which are related to current affairs. It is definitely going to help you to keep yourself updated. So friends, in this series, we'll try solving 5 MCQs within 10 minutes, and it might exceed because there are certain explanations which are very elaborate in this particular day of ours. So let us begin and move towards the path of practice and revise. So friends, let me just give you the answers for the questions that we had discussed in the day 2 of this particular series. So I had asked you about the headquarters of Amnesty International. So basically Amnesty International is an NGO which fights for human rights, right? And it is headquartered in London, United Kingdom, right? So the headquarter is in London. There can be a direct question regarding the headquarters of Amnesty International as well, right? The second question that I had asked you was regarding the currency used in France. So the answer is euro, right? And the third question that I had put forth was the capital of a northeastern state, which is Nagaland. The answer for this particular question is Kohima. Right? So friends, make sure that you are aware of the capitals of the states of India as well as the union territories. Those are very important. There might be a simple question on that as well, right? So let us begin with the first question today. So the question out here is, India is to host the G20 summit in which of the following years? Now friends, regarding G20 summit, we had also discussed a question in the previous lecture, wherein currently in the year 2018, where is G20 summit held? The answer was Buenos Aires, that is the capital of Argentina, which is a South American nation, right? Now this question is regarding the G20 summit which India is going to host. Now you need to tell me in which year is India going to host this particular summit. Now the answer to this question is in the year 2022. This is very important. India is going to play the host for this particular summit in the year 2022. So our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has announced this, and that year is going to be very important because it is going to be the 75th anniversary of India's independence. So kindly make note of this. Now friends, the 2018 G20 summit, we had already discussed about this. This actually took place in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Now we saw that the theme of that particular summit, which was held in the year 2018, was building consensus for fair and sustainable development. This is very important. And guys, these days a lot of stress is being given on sustainable development, a development which takes care of its future generations as well, right? So first of all, you need to know what is G20. We had also discussed that this particular G20 was formed in 1999, important again, and this is an international forum of the governments and the central bank governors from 20 major economies. So when I say 20 major economies, we have seen that it is 19 countries plus European Union. So kindly make note of this as well. So the member countries here, you need to pause the videos, and by now you should be aware of the important countries which are part of this particular organization. And it is important because we need to note India is also a member of G20. Right, and the summit which took place in the year 2018, Mr. Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, had represented India. An important announcement was made regarding a 9-point agenda which called for strong and active cooperation to deal with fugitive economic offenders. Okay, so kindly make note of this. So you need to know the venue. You need to know the theme that had taken place, who represented from India, right? And the second thing, any other important announcement that India had made there. So one announcement is regarding this 9-point agenda, and the other important announcement is India going to host G20 summit in the year 2022. A lot of information, friends. Now moving on to question number 2. So basically, which conference was held in Katowice, Poland on 3rd of December 2018? Friends, this is a very important summit that had taken place on 3rd of December. So this place, Katowice, it is in Poland. So the answer for this particular question is, it is Climate Change Conference. Okay, so very important. Let us have a look at more information about this particular conference. So basically, this was the 2018 United Nations Climate Change Conference. Okay, friends. Now, let me just tell you what this conference is all about. So let us just go back into the detailing. So this is the 24th Conference of Parties. Okay, so when I say conference of parties, okay, I mean that this is a major body, okay, which includes the representatives from major nations, okay, or in fact I can say all the nations, okay. They come together, they discuss on certain important issues that are going on, and the issues that we are talking about here is climate change, okay. As we all know, the rapid climate change that is taking place, that is leading to global warming, right, because of the various carbon dioxide emissions and how the man-made destructions and all those factors, right. So these people come together, they have regular meetings each year, and they come up with certain frameworks, they come up with certain guidelines, commitments from various countries, right. So now let me just tell you that there was an agreement that was signed. We will go into the details also. So that agreement, for now you just keep it as agreement, it is called United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, okay. So it is in short form called UNFCCC. This is a very important term, friends. Do not worry if it is new to you. Okay, so this is a convention. In the future section, we will see what is this convention. For now, just understand a meeting of parties taking place, right? Now, this is also known as Katowice Climate Change Conference. Why? Because it was held in the place Katowice, which is in Poland, right? So you need to know the venue. This is very important. There might be a direct question on this as well. Okay, now Poland hosted this particular kind of summits twice before also. So it took place in 2008 and it also took place in 2013 there. Okay, in 2013 it took place in the capital of Poland, which is Warsaw. Okay, so friends, every year the conference of parties come together to discuss important developments. Okay, so this is a 24th time that they are sitting together. That is why it is called COP24. Kindly make note of this as well, right? Every summit, every conference, every year there's a particular theme that is chosen, and the theme for this year is changing together. Okay, very important. Make note of this particular theme, friends, right? This refers to the determination of all the parties, okay, which are party to this particular summit that had taken place to fully implement the Paris Agreement. Now you would have a question in your mind, what is this Paris Agreement that they are committing to adhere to? Okay, see, in the year 2015, as I told you, every year there are summits taking place. Okay, so in the year 2015 the summit took place in Paris. In Paris, there's a very important climate change agreement that was decided among the various countries that were represented there. So that particular agreement, the climate change agreement, is referred to as a Paris Agreement because it was in Paris that particular agreement had been discussed. Okay, so that particular Paris Agreement had certain important commitments that were discussed between the countries, among the countries. Okay, so let me just go on with this discussion. So basically you need to understand that the UN member countries, okay, they meet for certain, as I told, to discuss certain climate change issues. Okay, so the supreme body that comes to discuss these things is referred to as Conference of Parties, in short COP. Okay, and this COP that we are referring to is the supreme body to this particular convention. Okay, now we will discuss what is this convention in the further section. So friends, now let us discuss the two important terms which you will definitely be hearing again and again in the news. Okay, so let me just tell you what these terms are. One is convention and the other is protocol. See, what happens is convention is usually an international agreement, or you can say a treaty that is taking place maybe between two parties. It may be between two member nations, or there may be more member nations as well. Okay, so for example, let me just tell you that if you are coming together, if you're discussing about climate change, okay, so you can say a particular convention is being signed and the topic of that particular convention is the climate change. Okay, now what happens is climate change is a very broad topic. Now you can address specific issues in that climate change also. Okay, for example, if I pick a particular issue like carbon dioxide emissions, okay, and I want to come up with a binding treaty, a legal document wherein I want to get certain commitments from the various nations. Okay, so then I would go for protocol. Okay, so this protocol document is is legally binding. Okay, and through this protocol you can make some changes, major amendments to the main treaty also. Okay, so I can say convention is a more general term which addresses broader areas. Okay, it is not going to be legally binding. These are just discussions which the member nations agree to. Then after certain discussions, I take up certain specific issues. I go for a legally binding document that becomes our protocol. Okay. So friends, coming back to the convention that we were discussing, by now you should have understood that the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is what? It is a kind of an international treaty, right? This particular treaty or this particular discussion that we are referring to was opened for signature during a very important summit that had taken place in the year 1992. Okay friends, so in the year 1992, major nations or most of the nations came together for a very important conference that was called Earth Summit. Okay, so these were member nations of United Nations. Okay, so these nations came together for Earth Summit, which is also called United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. So this is a very famous summit that had taken place. So you need to memorize Earth Summit. You need to memorize in which year that had it took place and where it was held. Okay, it was held in a place called Rio de Janeiro, which is again in Brazil. Okay, which is a South American nation. Okay, so this particular summit was very important because major treaties were opened for signature in this particular convention, in this particular summit. Okay, so one of those important treaty was this particular treaty that we are referring to, which is called Unfccc. Okay, now the major countries, they come up for discussion every year. Okay, so this question that we are dealing with is the 2018 summit that had taken place, which had now you can see that where was it held? It was held in Katowice, which is in Poland. Okay, so in the year 2015, as I told you, when these countries met to discuss this particular climate change convention, they came up with an important agreement which was called Climate Change Agreement. Okay. So there were very important aims of this Paris Agreement which were stated below. For example, keeping the global temperature rise this century well below 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. So we need to contain the temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius. There's a lot of global warming that is taking place and we need to make sure that we do not let the earth get heated up. Okay, so for this 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial era was declared as a commitment that needs to be done by most of the nations which are party to this convention, right? So you need to understand that under this UNFCCC there is an important agreement that is signed, which is called a Climate Change Agreement. Okay, so keep in mind that whenever you hear this term Paris Agreement, they are referring to Climate Change Agreement signed in the year 2015 in Paris by most of the nations belonging to this particular convention. Right friends, so make sure you are aware of this particular 2 degrees Celsius as well. Okay, so moving on to third question. So friends, let me just tell you why I have been discussing question number 2 in detail, because there are so many terms that may be new to most of you. Like first, convention, understand what it is, understand what is protocol, okay, understand what is conference of parties, then go to Earth Summit. This summit took place in the year 1992. Major important agreements were opened up for signature in that particular summit. One of those conventions or agreements was UNFCCC. Okay, under UNFCCC there are major parties that come together for discussion. Okay, and the 2018 discussion was the question that we were referring to, right friends? Moving on to the third question out here, that who has been invited by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a chief guest for the 2019 Republic Day? And the answer to this particular question is, it is Cyril Ramaphosa. So he has been invited by our Prime Minister. And who is Cyril Ramaphosa? He is the president of South Africa, right? So friends, I would like you to answer some questions for me. Okay, so tell me what is the capital of South Africa? Okay, and you need to tell me the currency of South Africa. So these are the two questions I want you guys to answer. Then coming to the fourth question, friends. So which state has become the first in the country to launch a single number, which is called 112, as an emergency number for various services? This is very important development that has taken place. Now the answer to this particular question is It is Himachal Pradesh, right friends? So Himachal Pradesh has become the first nation. So friends, we can see here that Himachal Pradesh has become the first nation to launch a single emergency number, which is going to integrate a lot of services like police, fire, health, and other helplines. Okay, there's going to be an emergency response center in the state through which these connections are made, right? And this particular project is going to be replicated gradually in the other states and union territories as well, right? So the number being 112, kindly make note of this particular number. So there's going to be an app which is called 112 India mobile app. It would also have a panic button on the smartphones, which can be used in avail of any distress or emergency. So friends, there's also a other feature called shout feature in this particular app, which is 112 India app, and this would actually help the women to ensure their safety, right? It is like a panic button. And as I told you, this particular mobile app or this particular integration would be seen in other states and union territories as well gradually. Now friends, one other information or question for you guys, that there's one other state which has been in news recently, and it has been said to be the second state in India to implement the same number 112. You need to tell me, let me give you a clue. It is a northeastern state, so I need the name of that particular state. So by now you need to tell me some of the important answers, like what is the capital of South Africa, secondly which is the currency of it, and the third one you need to tell me the second state which is a northeastern state to come up with this particular single emergency number 112. So friends, the last one for today, who is the only Indian to win a medal in the International Ultra Running event at International Association of Ultra Running 24-Hour Asia and Oceania's Championships in 2018? So quite a long question. So let us see who has won the medal and took the tag of being the only Indian to win so far. So the answer is Ullas Narayan. Okay, just make a note of it. Now friends, now you need to understand that this is very important, because what happens is anything which happens for the first time is in the limelight. Okay, so you can see here Ullas Narayan has become the first ever Indian individual medal winner. Okay, so this is an international event that was held in the year 2018 at Taipei. Okay, this is the capital city of Taiwan. Okay, so the name of the championship is 24-Hour Asia and Oceania Championships. Okay, now let me just address this particular news event by stating what are ultra races. Okay, so basically these are races which involve running over extremely long distances. Okay, so there are two types under this also. One, either it can be categorized based on a set distance like 50-kilometer race, 100-kilometer, or even longer, or they can be set time like running for 6 hours, 24 hours, or multi-day events. So the event that we are referring to is that of 24-hour. So kindly make note of this, right? And you need to understand here that India, here this is a kind of an athletic event. Obviously it is running, right? So in India, the athletics is represented by the Athletics Federation of India, AFI. Okay, this is the nodal body for athletic events in India. So this particular nodal body of India joined the International Association of Ultra Runners, IAU, which is again the official body for ultra running. Okay, so even only last year India had become its 83rd member. So this is an important development that India had done. And again you can see that this particular organization, IAU, as you can see on your screens, conducts so many championships at the international level. You can see here the championships are conducted in the category of 50-kilometer ultra marathon, 100-kilometer ultra marathon. There is 24-hour race and trail championships. So we can see that the question was regarding 24-hour race. Okay, so this is important. Kindly make note of this. Next friends, there was a team which was sent from India in the men and women category. In fact, in the men category, we also won a medal. The whole team won a medal. Okay, so here you need to understand that there were 6 men. You can just have a look at the names of those. There can be a question like, for example, Sunil Sharma is associated with which of the following events. Okay, so just pause this video. Make sure you have a look at the various names like Ullas Narayan, Sunil Sharma, Manoj Bhatt. Okay, and women's teams also, just have a look at the names. So friends, we are done with the discussion of 5 questions today. Though it is 5 in 10 series, this particular video extended our time. But friends, let me just tell you that whenever you're going through the explanation for any question, it is truly very important, because from the same explanation, you can expect 2 to 3 various other questions as well, right? So we need to address a question in its holistic manner. Secondly, friends, we have come up with a mock test series for GK and current affairs, which is catering to CLAT as well as DU LLB examinations. So friends, kindly try these mock tests, and it is very important for you to keep practicing questions, because there's a good 50 marks in CLAT examination out of 200 when it comes to current affairs and GK. So we will give you 45 mock tests with a proper schedule, and it would cover the months from June 2018 to May 1st week 2019. We would also be covering static GK. We would start uploading the sheets for each of the topics, and we would also provide you questions for practice. Plus friends, the price is 2,250 for the first 100 subscribers of ours. So friends, with this we have come to the end of this particular video today. If you have any doubt, you can give us a call at 8968984790. And if you found this video useful, kindly like, subscribe and share. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon for regular videos. Till then friends, thank you so much and keep revising.